Hello, everyone. I'm Drax. You're tuned in to Draxatron, and I'd like to welcome you to Episode 3 of Let's Play The Outer Worlds. I'm glad you're here and chose to visit, and I hope you will enjoy today's adventure. Let's get into it, shall we? Alright. When we left off, we had brought 2 books to Thomas Kemp, the young man standing there. There is a third. We have not yet found it. The geothermal plant, that is our ultimate objective here in Emerald Vale. Not only do we have to go there and determine whether we want to route power to Edgewater or to the botanical labs, that's one thing. Another is we have to retrieve a logic module from one of the auto mechanicals at the plant for Ludwig, who's the guard over at the landing platform in town. And of course, diverting the power from the geothermal plant will determine where we will get the power regulator we need to repair the unreliable and leave the planet. Now, before we do anything else, I do want to go quickly back to Edgewater. I believe there's 1 or 2 small tasks that we can do. We don't want to leave anything behind if we can avoid it. One of them is here at the constable's office.
I've never actually been in here. Seemed scary from the outside.
Welcome to the Spacer's Choice Constabulary. We are Halcyon's leading brand in frontier justice. The office is writing up promotion. Purchase 3 criminal investigations and the 4th one's free.
Remember what I had said originally about how they have those little corporate plugins everywhere? Yes, they even have them with law enforcement.
Know how to carry yourself in a fight? I've got bounties out for these 3 marauders. Cross them off and bring me their fingers. Just 1 per marauder, please. I'll dust off the old fingerprint roller.
You got it.
As long as your questions fall within the acceptable margins of curiosity.
Yeah. There's nothing I want to say that wouldn't probably get me into some kind of trouble. Now, there's 3 people we're going to find and bring a finger back for Constable Reyes. Kind of reminds me of the Lawgiver perk from Fallout 3 where you work for the regulators. Guillaume Antrim, Doc Maybell, and Bertie Cotton. They're scattered around the Vale. But I'd like to take care of them before I go to the geothermal plant, and then I can just turn everything in all together. And one of them is nearby. Let's see. Yeah. There's one there, and one there. So we will go to this one first, because it is, of course, the closest.
Hey, Miss Parvati. Come for a visit?
Not today. Just helping this fella.
Okay. For a minute there, I thought there was a bit of dialogue. But if that's it... Now, unless you accept the quest from Constable Reyes, those outlaws will not be where they otherwise would be. You have to accept the quest in order to trigger their spawn, basically. Kind of get ourselves ready. Now, this one is probably the easiest, because quite literally, Bertie Cotton is right there. Goodbye, Bertie Cotton. Unfortunately, a lot of these goons have melee Get out of my face. Who are you fighting, Parvati? Where are you, anyway? I have no idea where Parvati went. You, on the other hand, I do know where you are. Oh, there you are. Parvati. Damn it to hell, girl. If you're quite done getting your ass handed to you, love, I think we can get back to business. Where did you aggro them from, anyway? Oh, well. All good. Canned skull. Fin. Aha. Useful items. Now, there's one marauder. Marauder. Vandal. There is one. I lost track of where he went down. Convenient, this guy right here has 0 loot on him, and he was the one carrying the long-range rifle. First things first, whoops. Come on, get to the ladder. Get Birdie Cotton's finger. There we go. Okay, that's one down. Mock apple juice. I wonder if that's one of those things like you look at the label and it says made with real lifelike simulated apple. Reminds me of a TV show I saw years ago. This lady went into this supposedly fancy department store looking for a particular nice wig, and she wanted something as lifelike as possible. And the lady behind the counter said it's real lifelike simulated nylon. I was like, okay. Made in Hong Kong? Right. Salt tuner. Let's see. No, I don't want no mock apple juice. I believe that's everything. Okay, yeah, that wants us to go back to Constable Reyes, so we'll hold off on that. Now, while we're in the area, I do want to go up this path. There is one discoverable point of interest. It has no bearing on the actual game, but I'm one of those people that when I explore the setting in a game like this, I do like to kind of find all the different little interesting locations.
Oh, you can see the whole world from here.
Here is where the geothermal plant draws its heat from. Fancy. And you can pretty much see the entire vale from here. Alright. Actually, let's go this way. I don't want to cross the geothermal plant just yet. Now those behemoths... Oh, I think I know what happened with poor Parvati. She woke up a group of sleeping primals. Okay. Alright. Now one of the people Constable Reyes wants us to take out is hidden in a cave back of the geothermal plant there. Right over there. Now there used to be... Ah, here we go. The geothermal plant itself is covered I say primarily, yeah, almost exclusively by automated security, which means auto mechanicals. So, thought I saw one walking over there for just a second. Okay, we're free. Free and clear. Now this area right here, if I recall, has zero bearing on the game at this point. But I do believe, if I'm remembering right, there is a quest attached to a companion, a future companion that will bring you here. There's actually several. Where did you come from? Surprise. Where you at? Who can do that crap? Ah. Okay. Yay. No. I see this is, I think, the one I was talking about. Later companion quest. Gourmet saltooner, meaning it's more saltuna and less sawdust. The funny thing about it is I didn't notice before this plain and pure water. Plain and pure water. You think, okay, it's just bottled water. But right there, sugary drink, body attributes +1. Sugary drink. They put frickin' sugar in the plain and pure water. Again, going back to what I said before, it's real lifelike simulated water. Plain and pure. Make sure there's nothing of use up above. Uh-oh. Did I miss? Yep, I missed my mark. I do believe we are good. So, now let's go get Doc Maybell.
Okay, keep him quiet.
Let's see what kind of damage we can do before we get noticed.
Here they come! Not even a scratch.
Good enough. Thanks, Doc. Now, an empty bin. Every time I see 0G brew, I keep thinking it's some kind of like caffeinated, like coffee, cold coffee sort of beverage. But I don't really know. It could be anything. Doc Maybell, huh? All right, now at this point we can go ahead and address the geothermal plant. Or we can go find Guillaume Antrim, take him out, and then come back and do the geothermal plant. But since I'm not in any real hurry, and I like to be as reasonably thorough as possible, we'll go ahead and go get Guillaume, and then we'll double back to the plant, because we'll be in there for a little while. Now this is the back route to the botanical lab. You can go around that way. I do believe they have it covered by landmines though, so.
Wow, you got that?
Let's just clear everything out. You don't never know what'll be useful. And what isn't useful can just be sold for bits. Yes. I think Guillaume is actually back down here where we originally went and found Zoe. I meant to pick this particular quest up earlier and had forgotten all about it and did not realize until I had already put the second video out. I was like, oh hey. I just realized I could have saved myself a little bit of trouble, but I think we'll be okay. There's the added bonus that going down here to the industrial sector, there is one workbench in the area, I do believe. Provided don't charge right into the middle of it, you crazy girl. There he is. Or, yeah, he. Goodbye. Yeah, I know. is that coming from? Oh, there he is. Stick that pretty face out here where I can see you.
I don't know anybody who ever came out this far.
How nice that even in death he closed the door. Alright, we have all 3 fingers. Now let me see, there was somewhere back here. Oh,
Is it done?
not in there. Those doors are inoperative. Okay. That will do it for that quest. This is part of the reason why I break down most of the weapons that I find, is simply because, as you can see, my armor and my weapon have taken damage and do need repairs. I will usually carry an extra copy of the weapons I'm wielding. Now eventually you can acquire the skill to repair your armor and weapons in the field, which saves you a load of time. Until you do, though, you are beholden to remember as best you can where multiple workbenches are as you travel around, because they will be your best friend for a while. And you know what? As much as I did say before, I don't like to be one to steal. I'll forget it if I don't. I'm going to nick this poster. There's Zoe. She's back in town. The funny thing is, it's classified as stealing, but I do remember the last time I played the game through, nobody said anything, and Zoe was sitting in her chair just like she was just now, and somebody was walking by the door, just wandering around. Okay, now we've picked up a few more weapons we can break down. I am going to hold on to 1 or 2 of the... Let's see here. Actually, we've got... Yeah, here we go. So where is... Oh, that's Pravati. Okay, that's right. Let me take a look at... 132, so not really a comparison. A stun baton. That's the sentry saber that Guard Pelham gave me. I'm not going to break it down. I think I will get rid of this trimmer cleaver, though. I don't really need it. Tactical shotgun. This is a backup just in case. Let's see what we can modify, if anything. I did put a better barrel on that. Let's see. No. Is there a mod for that? No, let's not do that. Okay. Now... Actually, what is my current? Okay, I'm fine. There's at least one vending machine at the geothermal plant. I can sell some of my junk to it. That will help. Alright, now, we are not going to get in the front gate, surprise, surprise, because there is a security field up. I have never tried my luck and attempted to walk through that, but just judging by the look of it, it probably will shock the hell out of you if you try. So, we are going to get in the old-fashioned way. A hole in the fence.
I always wanted to poke around in here.
Being mindful of the fact there are auto mechanicals on patrol. Conveniently, though, they never notice your companion.
Unexpected. Performing area now.
Parvati or another companion could literally be standing right in front of a hostile, and 90% of the time, I don't know why, they never notice. I don't know if that's intentional or an oversight or a glitch. Let me go back around this way. Despite the fact that we got in through the fence, I'd very much like to walk out the front door if possible when the time comes. Where is that auto mechanical? There it is. It's funny how the entire system seems to be so knackered, and yet nobody is over here trying to repair it.
Oh, sweet.
Here they come!
Thankfully, despite the fact that they are annoying, those combat drones don't seem to have a lot of resistance. 1 or 2 shots is usually all they need to be taken out. Now, and plus, robots, well, auto mechanicals, whatever you want to call them, can be a good source of armor and energy ammo.
The control room should be ahead somewhere and a touch to the right. I hope we're doing the right thing.
Don't worry.
Don't mess with us. You're fast.
Okay, now let's see what we've got here. The manager's office. For Spacer's Choice. From Spacer's Choice, Emerald Vale Development and Oversight to J. Braden. Subject, get it together. Mrs. Braden. This letter serves as an informal notification of our company's displeasure towards your management of the Emerald Vale geothermal plant for reasons related to exceeding your staff budget in your latest quarterly report. Please select 5 subordinates to be dismissed immediately. Additionally, please contact our office to schedule your official reprimand at your earliest convenience. Failure to schedule your official reprimand will result in an official reprimand. Yeah, so you'll get reprimanded for your quarterly report budget on the staff. And then if you don't contact them to schedule your reprimand, they will give you an official reprimand for not contacting them to give you an official reprimand. Gotta love it. The Spacer's Choice family would like to collectively remind you that working for Spacer's Choice is a right, or is not a right, but a privilege. Emerald Vale Geothermal Plant. Now, from J. Braden to Spacer's Choice Development Oversight. No need for a reprimand. To the esteemed members of the Emerald Vale Development and Oversight Committee, I hope this letter finds you wealthy. After due consideration of your last letter, I have identified and terminated no fewer than 5 subordinates who were unable to provide sufficient justification for their ongoing employment. I would like to remind the Oversight Committee that while most of Emerald Vale has failed to meet its production and output quotas, particularly our agriculture and fishing canning departments, neither of which are anywhere close to profitable, the Emerald Vale geothermal plant remains committed to providing cheap, cost-efficient power to the entire region. Regards, Juno Braden, Manager. And I'm assuming this is their reply. Spacer's Choice Development Oversight to J. Braden. No need for reprimand response. Ms. Braden, we have investigated the claims made against the profitability of the greater Emerald Vale region. Our offices agree with you. Agriculture and fishing canning have experienced a steady decline while the Emerald Vale geothermal plant remains somewhat profitable. Our offices are currently investigating ways to implement additional cost-saving measures, which will ultimately lead to a leaner, more streamlined, more efficient geothermal power plant. Please be informed that the Spacer's Choice Development and Oversight Office has taken a significant insurance policy against the Emerald Vale geothermal plant. The office would like to assure you that this insurance policy is a standard procedure. Do not attempt to interpret, understand, or otherwise extrapolate meaning from this decision. As a special courtesy, we have deployed a proprietary team of engineering specialists to the Emerald Vale geothermal plant. This team of specialists has been instructed to refit and upgrade the plant's population of auto mechanicals, free of charge. Thank you for your cooperation. Sounds to me like, despite Juno Braden's attempts to deflect corporate criticism away from her own person, in the process of doing so, she did it so effectively that she quite literally caused the entire thing to splash back on her, in that they started looking around and saying, "Oh, hey, we can do all kinds of things to cut costs and save money," which would indirectly mean, since they were going to upgrade the auto mechanicals here at the plant, that she probably lost her job anyway. Probably everyone left lost their jobs. Let's see. Is there anything here? 2 files available. Spacer's Choice. I had to borrow your copy of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering. Radio's been sputtering and I needed the reference. I've returned the copy to the repair bay. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Chaos everywhere. Mechanical's gone haywire. Gunfire. Hearing some screams. Oh, law. I think that was someone's leg. Would like to leave early for the day. Please deduct delinquency fee from my pay. Thank you. Proud to be a member of Spacer's Choice family. That's nice. Let's see what that update was. Found the first volume, found the second volume. A log on the receptionist's desk of the geothermal plant mentioned that there might be a volume of A Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering in the plant's repair bay. Okay, so we now have that. And while we are at it, I did hear the sound of a vending machine. So let's sell a few items. All right. It's Spacer's Choice. That's nice. What is the current? 99%, 93.2. Okay. I do need to put... There we go. Now then. The ultimate objective of this whole place is through that door. But first, we go nosing in the nooks and crannies. You never know what you'll find. Excuse me, Parvati. Focus it all. That reminds me of another cheeky product called something totally different and far less appropriate that Robin Williams talked about in a comedy stand-up he did years ago. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look. Master Plant status. This access report brought to you by Spacer's Choice. It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's Choice. Emerald Vale geothermal plant operating at, holy crap, 22% efficiency. Power is currently being distributed to Edgewater, Saltuna Cannery Botanical Laboratory. Warning, structural damage detected. Please notify your designated supervisor. Okay, and when we try to redirect, warning, safety failures detected, high likelihood of moderate to severe structural damage. Redirecting power is an irreversible procedure. Error, power redirection function has failed, manual override required. Please activate all 3 electrical track switches, of course. Okay, so...
3 switches. That'll be easy enough.
Famous last words. It's like going into work in the morning and saying, I hope today's a quiet day. Somebody had a small fortune tucked away. I think that was everything, right? Okay. Really? Stimulation. The names of some of these products are funny as hell. Okay, geothermal security office. Let's nose around in here. Personal log. 079 S. Tanaka, Chief of Security. Personal log. Chester Higgins again, that hullhead. Found him fiddling around with one of the mechanicals, so I had to write him up for tampering with company property. Just in case I'm reading this a couple days from now and feeling bad for what I've done, let me just remind myself that I've warned him before. He's always been a little crooked in the skull. He was working on some logic module. I confiscated it. Should be in my lock-away room for the foreseeable future. Personal log 087. Doesn't sit right with me. Company's been replacing our guards with auto mechanicals. That goes back to what we saw on the supervisor's terminal. She boasted so well about the efficiency of the place in trying to, I guess, cover her own hind end that it ended up biting everybody. At this rate, I'm going to end up a chief of security with no staff, just a small army of mechanicals knocking about, guns pointed every which way. Company tells us they're safe, programmed to treat us humans like their own. People are liable to break down, but an auto mechanical never will. I don't know. Doesn't sit right with me, but the company's never been wrong before, I suppose. Oh, boy. Log 098. Worst has happened. Mechanical's gone crazy. Locked myself down here. Just trying to gather my courage. Gonna make a mad dash for the control room. Might be able to shut things down. Will delete this entry if I ever return. I'm guessing Tanaka never did. Alright, automated message 006. Greetings, Security Chief S. Tanaka. This is an automated message initiated by Spacer's Choice Worker Safety Contingency Protocols. I love how they shout that like it's so extra important. A security lockdown has been initiated. This is not a test. Your behavior during this lockdown will be reviewed during your quarterly audit. Anxiety is a common side effect of life-threatening situations engendered by security lockdowns. Fight back against anxiety with an ice-cold bottle of Zero G Brew. Zero G Brew, an ale that's good for what ails you. Gotta stick that corporate plug in there. Okay. Now we have access to the lower areas of the plant. I believe this door over here. Yes. There is at least one auto mechanical below us. I just went around that corner.
Processing.
Everyone all right?
Kaboosh. I'm good. Hello. Uh-oh. Am I stuck under this pipe? Yes, I am. Let me go around this way. I don't want any Spacer's Chaw. Well, every time I see that stuff, it makes me think of that nasty dip stuff that a cousin of mine used to do years ago. Finally gave it up. All right. Uh-oh.
System.
Funny thing about these auto mechanicals is their field of vision is kind of on the very crappy side. You literally can be stuck out behind. Screw it, he's coming in this direction. You might as well take him down. That's
What'll
one.
happen to Miss McDevitt's folk if we send power to the Vale?
If we send power to the Vale, I can only see one of two things happening. Either they will stay at the botanical lab and die, unfortunately. Oh, I believe we found Chief Tanaka. They will either stay in the botanical labs and die, or they will return to Edgewater looks like the exchanger room in there. Let's see what kind of trouble. Chester's passcode. They'll either return to the to Edgewater, I'll get it out this time, or they'll stay at the botanical labs and they'll die. That's really the only two things I can see happening. Hey, there's Jeremy. What's this? Borrowed a copy of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering. I think it's Volume 3. I need something to read down in the pit. Much obliged, C. Higgins. That's the one Chief Tanaka was talking about before. Okay, what do we got here? Log 0012. Corporate just sent a team of technicians to conduct a complete refit of all our mechanicals, every sentry and drone. It's not my place to say so, but doesn't this run contrary to the Spacer's Choice mission of being as cheap as possible? Just in case I'm audited, I would like to formally express how grateful I am to be a part of the Spacer's Choice family. Spacer's Choice is the leading brand in affordable sundry across Halcyon. It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's Choice. C. Higgins. That is the textbook definition of a kiss arse. Let's see, 0020. Just finished a routine maintenance on our mechanical sentries. I found some strange modifications to their logic modules. I haven't had time to run a diagnostic, so I don't know what's been modified. All I know is that these modifications were introduced in our recent refit. The company went through the trouble of refitting every single mechanical in the plant not long ago. Guessing this was the work of those visiting technicians. I filed a report, but my supervisor told me not to worry about it. Said the company knew what it was doing. Ordered me to forget about any alleged modifications to the logic modules. Decided to do a bit of sleuthing by my own self. Got my hands on a logic module. Time to do a little experimentation. C. Higgins. Well, for all the trouble that Chief Tanaka seemed to have with Chester. Okay, that's the way we were earlier. He might have been smarter than the chief thought.
Self-diagnostics complete. Navigation systems operational. Combat systems operational. It's not the best choice. It's the Spacer's Choice. All systems fully operational. Return journey successfully completed. Spacer's Choice would like to thank you for complying with your duties. Hostile actions towards Spacer's Choice mechanics are contrary to logical directive. Conclusion: all hostile automechanicals must be defective in compliance with Spacer's Choice policy. All defective automechanicals must be permanently dismantled. Please allow me to assist.
I can't do that to you, Jeremy.
Entering standby mode, awaiting further instruction.
I would rather you stay here and be safe than get shot up helping me.
No, just leave me alone.
Oh, I think we found Chester.
Not real. You're not real.
Somebody's scared out of his mind. Where is he? He must be down there somewhere.
Get away! No, just leave me alone.
You ain't gotta be afraid of me, man. I'm not gonna hurt you.
You're not real. You're not real. Get away from me, Phantom. Shoot, scram. You can talk? The Phantom's never talked before. I knew I shouldn't have eaten that sprat raw.
Jesus.
See, Higgins? This is why you must always boil your sprats before ingesting. Of course. Do excuse me. I experience brief flashes of mania during which I am visited by the phantoms of my imagination. Chester D. Higgins. The D stands for definitely not insane. I use it as a reminder.
Oh, so you must know a feller by the name of Fred G. Sanford, who said at various intervals that the G stood for great, grand, glorious, and just about every other positive epithet in the dictionary that started with G.
Oh, Higgins has been many things over the years. Sprat Wrangler, Saltuna Critic, Aetherwave Personality, Chairman of the Board, Galactic Defender, Sisty Pig Tycoon. I've come a long way for someone who started off as a simple engineer right here in this plant.
I think poor Higgins has gone just a bit crackers.
I specialized in automechanicals, drones, sentries, repaired them, maintained, upgraded, did it all from my old workroom just over in the next section. Look, I don't want to fall into any trouble with the mechanicals. If they wise up to our plans, they will come for us. With prodding irons.
You let me worry about that.
You know, you remind me of myself back when I was an intergalactic adventurer. I discovered a flaw. Their hostility levels were hardwired to maximum. There's no changing that, but you could rewrite their targeting protocol so they attack each other instead. Yes, that's exactly it. I see you're also versed in the noble art of mechanical engineering. There's a behavior control terminal in the other room. It should have options to change how the mechanicals act, including whom they shoot at. Oh, that reminds me. You'll need my passcode to access the behavior control terminal. Here, let me just write it down for you. Funny thing, I was working on a logic module just before the mayhem started. Security chief found me and confiscated the logic module.
I think we just found the use for that key that we took off Chief Tanaka's body.
The tail. Definitely start with the tail. If you're feeling adventurous, the ears are a particular delicacy. Mechanicals lost their bolts. Opened fire on anything that moved. It was pandemonium. You mean, why did the mechanicals go on a murderous rampage? Same reason any of us do, I suppose. The voices told them to do it. I was on cleaning duty at the time. My old boss had me scrubbing pipes when the killing started. So, as usual, I missed out.
Why are you complaining? I'm not going to ask that question because I don't think I want to know the answer. Now, if I recollect proper, there should be. I say there should be. Ah, there it is. We can take that back to Thomas Kemp and complete that quest. I'm trying not to be overly cynical when I say this, but judging almost exclusively off what Chester's told me, it's almost as if when the manager, the plant manager, was trying desperately to, of course, protect her job, and I understand that. Even though she did fire 5 people who did nothing other than just be in the wrong place at the wrong time when corporate decided, hey, you got to get rid of some people. That when they came in and reprogrammed all of the auto mechanicals, now see, and not this right here, auto mechanical behavior mode, guard mode targets, intruders, which, how do you identify an intruder when apparently they shot and killed everybody still working in the plant at the time. I'm wondering if when they came in and reprogrammed the auto mechanicals, if they didn't do it almost deliberately as a, oh look, we upgraded all of the auto mechanicals, but then something went terribly wrong and it killed everybody in the plant. But look at how much money we're saving by not having all those people on the payroll anymore. Auto mechanicals in this facility have been mandated to target intruders. Any attempt to alter this setting is punishable by company law. Your infraction has been noted in your permanent record. See Higgins. Please see your supervisor to schedule a reprimand. Define intruders. Now this will make it a little bit easier for us to get around in here. Because now the auto mechanicals will start hunting and fighting each other. That will enable us to move about just a little bit more without trouble. Let's see, I think... Okay, yeah. Gotta go back down to this, down to 2 level. This door, yes it can.
Mind the steam. You're liable to get scalded. Not a peep for me.
System.
That's the last of them.
Oh,
System.
let's shut off this. Oh. Okay. There we go. And we didn't even have to hack the door to do it. Now we could go up that ladder, but it's going to lead us to the same place as the ramp over here will.
Watch out!
I see it.
One to go.
That's 2.
If we send the power to Miss McDevitt, what happens to the veil?
Now that's a very good question, Parvati. I've got a better idea of what would happen if we sent the power to Edgewater, as to what would happen to the people who are living at the botanical labs. I can't really say what would happen.
Security patrol.
Whee! How exciting. There'd be a lot of people who probably live in Edgewater who, if I had to go out on a limb and say so, would not be accustomed to the idea of living a rougher life out in the wilds, even if you do have a shelter over your head, living in one of the domiciles at the botanical gardens. So, you know, I think it would be, and I'm not saying that Reed Thompson is 100% correct over Adelaide McDevitt, but at least with the town, the people have a sheltered location to, you know, call home. It might not be perfect, but it would probably be infinitely better than living in the wild, because I imagine a lot more people would probably die if the power got diverted from Edgewater to the botanical labs and the folks in the town were forced to try to move out into the wilds. Plus, Adelaide demonstrates extreme level of, you know, enmity towards just about everything Edgewater. I can't say that she would be entirely welcoming to everybody. But that's just me. Still, the whole thing reeks of, no matter which option you choose, it's not 100% right, it's not 100% wrong. It's a weigh the pros and cons kind of a thing and see which one just feels best, because you'll get criticized for either choice.
That's the last.
Alright, that's 3.
I'm not sure what the right is. Alls I know is the decision's final.
Yes, it is. But I think in the long run, the enmity that Adelaide McDevitt has towards the folks of Edgewater does not necessarily translate over to everyone who calls the Botanical Labs home. So, really, as best I can determine, Adelaide is the primary reason why those people won't go back. But then, additionally, aha. And I don't like forcing people into very awkward positions like that, even in a game, but at the same time, I think ultimately it's better that the power go to Edgewater, mainly because whether or not the town's perfect, it's ideal in more ways than one that folks would be safer in the town. Now,
Once
granted,
we do this, there's no going back. Hey, mister? Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do?
I would not mind hearing your opinion, Parvati.
I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. That just sort of came out all at once.
No.
Edgewater's hurting.
I agree with
We've
you.
been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough Saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished.
Now, going back to what I was saying before Parvati wanted to talk, what she just said is my primary reasoning for why I'm saying I'm going to send the power to Edgewater and not to the Botanical Gardens. There are decent, hardworking people just trying to live their lives the only way they know how, as Parvati's saying. They don't deserve to be punished because of a dispute between Reed Thompson and Adelaide McDevitt. Now, the folks who live at the Botanical Gardens, they did leave for one reason or another. Some left because they agreed with Adelaide. They went with her. Some people left because they got run off. But by the same token, if those people, or the bulk of those people, did go back to Edgewater, that would at least be a net positive for the town, because then they would have extra hands to help out. And that would, I think, at least from my own reasoning, give Edgewater a better chance of surviving. Now, granted, Adelaide McDevitt would not agree with that, but let's see what she says to this.
Well, that sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy Spacer's Choice family. In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. The family must work together in order to survive. I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back, Edgewater's as good as dead. Cutting off their power might be the only way.
And again, this dovetails with what I was already thinking. The deserters at the Botanical Labs returning to Edgewater means extra hands in town, And without completely subscribing to the corporate tagline, as Reed Thompson would do, they are a family in a way. They are a community. It would be better if they worked together, found a way to settle their differences as best they can, and work together in order to improve their odds of survival and to help each other out. And as Parvati is saying here, the only way the deserters are going to go back to Edgewater is if you give them no other choice. I mean, yeah, they might lose their home at the gardens, but it wouldn't be the people in Edgewater being forced out into the wilds, where who knows how many of them would die simply from struggling to survive.
Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on
And-
like that. I felt like I had to
But
say.
I do agree with Parvati that I think
Really?
it's better
I mean, wow.
that we divert power to
Thanks.
Edgewater.
No one's
And
ever told me those words. in
Basically,
that
I
order.
mean, there's no other way to say it. Force the deserters to return to town. Because then they can work together. It would be a net positive, at least for the community, to having a better chance of making it if they have more people, as opposed to what they have now, which is not enough people. Anyway, it is time to make that choice. And as I said, we are going to redirect all power to Edgewater. All right. We have now diverted all output from the geothermal plant to Edgewater, and now we have to go back to the botanical gardens, wrap up our quest with Thomas Kemp, and face Adelaide McDevitt, who I know will be
Processing.
oh dear,
Beginning
unhappy
Look at us!
with our decision, and the plain and simple truth of it is, I didn't do it for her. I did it for the Vale as a whole, and I'm not saying that trying to sound like some kind of altruistic, humanitarian, but more of a practical view. It's better that the people at the lab goes back to town. They just might make a go of it if they work together. I think the bridge might be broken. Did I check that mechanical? No, I did not. Now I have. But part of why I did the additional quests that the folk at the botanical labs had to offer was because helping them makes it easier to convince the folk here to go back to Edgewater. Oh dear, we have a red alert. And I'm sorry for Adelaide's garden, but there she is.
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it?
It's really hard to determine what would be the correct answer to this question. In a way, all three of them are correct. Reed needs his people back. It isn't personal, I just need the power regulator. And really, I kind of don't owe her an explanation. And the reason I would say number 3, if I weren't, trying to be as diplomatic as possible, even to a person who is not entirely reasonable, like Adelaide, is simply because after she threw Parvati's father's death in her face in an attempt to try and sway us to her side, Reed Thompson might be a corporate snake of his own, breed, but he wasn't at least that manipulative about saying, I need my people back. The town's struggling, we need our people back. With her, she's like, oh, remember your father, da-da-da. And I'm like, no, you don't do that. But I'm going to say this. I'm just going to be honest. It's not personal. I need your power regulator.
You killed my garden, destroyed my community, sentenced my flock to a lifetime of slavery in Edgewater for a power regulator. Well, shit, I wish it was personal.
It's
Go
not.
talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your responsibility. And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management.
She deliberately avoided this question or any allusion to it in our previous conversation. Let's see what she says.
My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted on him. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. That's as much of the story as you need to hear.
So the entire deal with Adelaide and Edgewater is personal. I'd be wasted having any further conversations with her, so let's talk to Thomas.
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead. No kidding.
Go ahead and get this
really?
out of the way.
Well, which one? The geothermal plant? Now that is just incredible. You really went exploring down there? Adelaide always told us it was swarming with hostile mechanicals.
It was.
That's a complete set. All 3 parts. I'm gonna be the greatest engineer Halcyon's ever seen. Aside from you, Ms. Parvati. I swear, I'll do you proud.
Puppy love.
I'm glad we could help, Thomas.
I've been saving something for you. Just a little contraption I found. Should fit right into your outfit.
Well, let's start getting this process taken care of.
I've been thinking about going back. I'm not much use to anybody here. I get sick thinking about working at the cannery. I can't do that again.
Well, thankfully, Thomas, you have options now that you have those manuals.
You know something? I think you're right. The town could use another engineer, and I'm on my way to becoming one. I could do a lot of good in Edgewater. Maybe even keep a garage of my own with a little workbench and my very own toolbox. It's just... Adelaide's never gonna forgive me. Not in 100 years. I go crawling back to my old life in Edgewater, and I'm as good as dead to her.
Well, she's as good as unreasonable anyway. The sad truth of the matter is, the whole reason she's out here is extremely personal, and while I can understand her being angry at Reed over the death of her son, Reed Thompson, and I don't necessarily like him anymore than I'd like any other corpo of his ilk. His hands were as tight as anybody else's. But just be plain and honest about it.
Are you sure about this? If we head back to Edgewater on our own, Adelaide won't come with us. She'll stay here and curse us till the end of her days.
Yeah, but that's all she'll be able to do.
I expect we got no choice. Edgewater needs us back, and loath as I am to admit it, we need Edgewater.
You need each other.
You okay with this, Grace?
My fears are all settled. Thanks for helping me with Zoe.
You're welcome.
Just give us some time to gather our personals and say our goodbyes. If you run into Reed, you tell him we're coming back, yeah?
I will. Take care. Okay, so now all we have left to do is retrieve the power regulator. And return. We'll fast travel this time to Edgewater. First thing we'll do is go see Constable Reyes.
Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing with myself.
Something to report?
Yeah.
We pay by the finger. What do you have for me?
Guillaume Antrim.
Gil Antrim. Real name, Guillaume. Duly processed by a freelancer on behalf of Spacer's Choice.
That's me.
I remember him. He was just a kid last I saw him. Shame. I'll just need your signature here, 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 and here. Got any more fingers for me?
Freaking paperwork. Doc Maybell.
Mabel Burgess. Age 37. Right or left-handed? Let's just say no longer applicable. I remember Doc Burgess. Conducted my physical every fiscal quarter. Guess she couldn't keep her hands off her patient's medicine. Still one
not.
Outstanding bounty. If you've got a finger, I've got the paperwork.
I've got the finger. Bring on the paperwork. Bertie Cotton.
Here we are. Bertie Cotton. Cause of death. Let's just say overwhelming physical trauma. Bert was the local preacher before Max took over. Always was quick to remind us that we all get what we deserve in the end.
Well, he did.
Well, that's all three. I must remember to requisition some more fingerprint ink. Here's all the compensation you've earned, plus a bonus.
Thank you.
You've done such a bang-up job hunting down our former workers that I thought it only proper to deputize you. Congratulations.
Yay. I don't want to ask that question. Goodbye, Constable. I am now a junior deputy constable. Let's see, was there anything? Yes, I do need to go see Ludwig. And then I have to go up there and see Reed. Hey, I just wanted to say, smoking is bad, okay? It's bad for you. Don't do it, okay? That was kind of a crappy take on Mr. Mackey, but smoking is bad, okay? It's really bad. I think it's bad. Now, if I recollect, in the future, if we ever return to the Emerald Vale, we'll land there.
Never seen the Vale lit up like this before.
Here's your logic module.
Bang up work, soldier. You're a credit to your uniform. Oh, that reminds me. Gotta look into getting us a uniform. So this is it then. The key to humanity's victory over the mechanical hordes. I would reward you with the gratitude of the Resistance, but I'm guessing you want something tactile. So here's a couple bits for your trouble, and a little something to remember me by.
I didn't notice it before, but this dude gives me serious Bela Lugosi as Dracula vibes. Huh. Well, alright. That clears all the side tasks we had. Now we go see Reed Thompson. Let's make haste. Elevator music, yay! Reed?
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool stream of water. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, when can I expect them back at their posts? That's good enough for me. Adelaide and I have a history. Was unlikely she'd ever come back. But hope springs eternal. We are in your debt. I am authorizing you for a discount on all official Spacer's Choice products, courtesy of the people of Edgewater.
How kind. Let's see.
By all means. Thomas Kemp? I remember him. Had to write him up for daydreaming a few too many times.
He tries real hard, Mr. Thompson. This is something he wants to do. That'll make him twice as good.
I will give him a chance to impress me. If he knows his way around a toolbox, I may have a place for him in the Holcomb workshop.
Good enough.
This whole fiasco is not one I am keen on repeating. I was too hard on my own workers. I pushed them to their breaking point.
Good for you.
With more hands at the cannery, I expect productivity will rise. I expect we'll grow. And I expect I can ask corporate to send us some more medicine. We'll survive, one way or another.
All right then. Spread those around a little. Now, I'm kind of split on which one would be the most useful. There's a few here that I definitely could use right now. But for the moment, all right, time for some more elevator music. Kind of funny, the tower looks shorter when you're standing out looking up at it compared to when you're riding that lift that goes up to Reed's office. All right. We have done all we can here. Time to go get the unreliable Spaceworthy again.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling. Well, it's kind of you to say that. And you're right. I wasn't happy. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think?
I don't see why not. Pick a cabin, it's yours.
Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
All right then. And here's the vicar waiting for us, just like he said he would be.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room.
All right. Only task remaining before we can leave is to reinstall the power regulator. Actually, first, yeah, I just realized I need to go talk to Ada before I do anything else.
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal. I applaud your willingness to invest your time in the local community.
Oh, thank you.
What can I do for you, Captain? Do you know how to install a power regulator?
Well, yes, actually, I do.
Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you. Across the cargo bay, up the ladders.
I'll be back. Ada is so dry. There's nothing better than that little touch of AI snark. All right, we are online. Now, to get us out into space and head on to our next destination.
What can I do for you, Captain? All systems are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the Unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
All right, let's get out of here then. And away we go.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Aha.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the Unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any unnatural drippage?
Ew.
Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you. Oh, that, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine.
I'm sure too.
What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Culkelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay.
All right then. I guess I will go have a word with Gladys.
Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design. Cutting-edge technology, years ahead of its time. I call it the holographic shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters.
I will put it to good use.
Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Got it. The nav terminal is right behind us. But before we do anything else, let's take a quick look around. Grab that shroud device Phineas was talking about. Now we got this lovely decoration for diverting the power to Edgewater. And now that we've got that, let's take just a moment to put a few items away so that we're not cluttered up 9 ways to Sunday. I will come back for a few of these later. Let's store that away for the time being. I don't think we're going to need every single item that... Right, control armor. Okay. Now, we'll come back to that terminal and read it just a little bit later. First, now here is Sam. He is a potential companion, but you have to find... There's a device that you need in order to get him back up and running. We will discuss that a little bit later. Parvati's dad. There's where that poster we grabbed goes. There's where that vial we grabbed goes. These are the crew quarters, of course. Here's the commons area. Now, I have a place to store food and beverages that I don't want to haul around everywhere I go. I'll hold on to a few just in case I ever need them. But a few of these will just get popped in here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, I'll leave that in there. Yeah. Okay. Cleared a little bit of space out of my bag. Now let's go back down to the bridge and be on our way to the Groundbreaker. And Gladys Kulkelly. So we are here at Terra 2. Eventually we'll visit locations for each of these for a variety of reasons. Whoops. Didn't mean to do it backwards.
The
Oh.
Groundbreaker has approved our request for docking, Captain. You're free to disembark.
Now the Groundbreaker, you can see it there through the windows. She was a basically a sister ship to the Hope, the one that Dr. Wells talks about. She made it to Halcyon. The Hope didn't.
Can we talk?
Sure.
Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. A lady named Junlei Tennyson?
Yeah? What about her?
I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff.
Sure, we can head over there.
Thanks, Captain. I'll be sure to make it worth your time. Did you want to talk about something else?
No, that's it. For now, we'll take Max and Parvati with us.
Smells like grease and unwashed bodies. Just as I remembered.
That's not the point. This halfwit just knocked out one of my workers.
Yeah, with a tossball stick. I heard you the first time. There weren't any witnesses.
No witnesses. He's not even denying it.
Jackass had it coming.
Shut it, Felix. You're not making this any better.
You get cute with me again, you little back bay brat, I will toss you out an airlock.
This is the Groundbreaker, not Byzantium. You ain't the law here. I am. Now move along.
I don't have time for this. I need a drink.
Just for a little bit of side info, the lady in green there walking away, Mardet, that's what they call the law enforcement security people here on the Groundbreaker. Mardet is short for Marine Detachment. Now let's talk to Felix while we're here.
Going for a stroll around the docking base? Sure was. Got a knack for upsetting the board and the Mardets all at once. Between you and me, I was hoping they'd come to fisticuffs. I had this foreman, right? Guy never liked me, always trying to get a rise out of me. But I keep my chin up, right? Be the bigger man, I tell myself. He's a Spacer's chosen man, though. So when the Chosen beat my Rangers the other night, my foreman comes swaggering up with his head full of boasting. That's when I broadsided him with a tossball stick. Yeah. Look, this was a long time coming. Guy thinks he can push me around because he's some sky-high foreman, and I'm just a back bay's dock worker. Well, former dock worker. Guess I just tendered my resignation.
The entire argument was over the fact that one tossball team beat the other, and Felix just didn't like it.
Enjoy my freedom. Scrounged together enough bits for a 0G. Other than that, can't say as I do. Hey, not for nothing, but I saw you wander out of that ship over there by the dock. Wouldn't happen to be yours, would it?
Yeah, that's me.
Captain of the Unreliable. You're like something out of a serial drama. Hey, I don't want to talk your ears off, guessing you got places to be. I appreciate your time. Felix Millstone. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
See you around, Felix.
See you around, boss.
Remember that name, folks. We will be seeing Felix again later. For now, let's go talk to Corporal Wheeler.
Right this way.
Hello.
Identification, please. Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize in advance. I'm about to ruin your day. According to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board.
Oh, cute.
Your ship will be impounded until such a time as they see fit to lift it.
But we've hardly been out of Edgewater long enough to get in trouble.
It wasn't us.
Well, isn't this wonderful? The captain's done something to get on the board's bad side.
It was the other Hawthorne.
Now, hold on. This isn't the end of the world. Probably. You'll want to take it up with Udom Bedford, our board representative here on Groundbreaker. His office is located along the starboard wall of the promenade. Shines like a Byzantium commode. Can't miss it. Access to that information is above my pay grade, and I've turned down 3 promotions, so it stays that way.
Understandable.
I shouldn't be mentioning it, but what the hell? This here, impounding your ship, it doesn't happen much. The board knows we don't take kindly to their interfering in our operations. If I had to take a guess as to why, you must have riled up someone important. You take the starch out of them, well, you won't hear any complaints from me. Oh, and if you're headed that way, would you mind doing me a favor?
Sure.
Wanda Dorset over in sickbay, tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon, and if she'd be so obliged to get off my ass about it.
Oh. Got it.
Much appreciated. Is there anything else I can help you with? The fence. You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring an empty belly. Most places are on the promenade deck. Big door yonder, straight through security. There's a bar on the starboard side. I got a preference for the Lost Hope myself. Talk to Vera. She'll set you right.
Got it.
You need anything else? You let me know. Don't want anyone saying Groundbreaker's not the most hospitable port in the colony. Maybe. Most of the shipping traffic in the system passes through Groundbreaker. Every couple of months, we even get a big interstellar freighter. 2 biggest operations are the board. That is, Halcyon Holdings and Sublight Salvage. But there are independent operators around the promenade deck. Most of those jobs are going to take you off station, though. All right. Be seeing you.
Just for clarity's sake, if it's not already semi-obvious, the relationship between the Groundbreaker and its people and the board, the Halcyon board, is not exactly the best. So,
I picked up this weird signal the other day. It was coming from Monarch.
Here we go again. No one lives on Monarch.
welcome to the Groundbreaker, folks.
Cap, try not to be distracted by the glare of the adverts. Lots of unsavory types about.
Flavored center. Suck it. Chew it. You can do it.
You can do it. This place is always a lot of fun. But anyway, that's going to do it for this episode, folks. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, drop a like, consider subscribing if you haven't already so that you'll see my future videos. And if you have any questions, thoughts, or constructive criticisms, please leave a comment down below. As always, I will see you in our next episode. Cheers.